years. So Jack Barry goes into the middle of the park, where he'll be lining up alongside David Moran. And what a year it's been for Peter Keane. First year in charge. He was here, of course, as well for the league final. They lost that. What will happen to them today? They are rank outsiders. I've never seen a Kerry team come to Croke Park not fancied as little as this team is, but let's see what happens. Michael Dara-McCauley gets the first possession, gives it off to Brian Howard. Dublin won the toss, so they're playing down here into the goal at Hill 16 right from the start, and Paul Mannion gets the first possession and the first point as well, and he's done it in under 18 seconds. What a start.
Yeah, first attack to concede in your first attack, never great. Tyke Morley misjudged the challenge. Ball bounced from Mannion onto it like a bullet and over the bar with his right foot.
Shane Ryan goes short, and straight away you can be expecting Dublin to put pressure on these Kerry backs. Paul Murphy, who played as a sweeper in the semi-final against Tyrone. Bruno Biagli holds his position. He came in as a sub before that match for the injured Gavin White on that occasion. Now getting to start. And here's Jack Barry, about whom there was a great deal of speculation that he would get to start, to mark Brian Fenton in particular. He's had a particularly good record against him in the last 4 meetings, league and championship. Barry again, drifting past Michael Dara-McCauley, up to 30 metres from the goal, gives it off to Clifford. David Clifford kicking it, but putting it to the right and missing. First attack.
Should have made it. That was not difficult for him. Great run by Barry. Did the right thing, and Clifford, you'd back him all day, but it's an All-Ireland final. The pressure.
Oh, what about that one? Stephen Cluxton picking out Johnny Cooper with 3 or 4 Kerry players converging on him, and they've turned it over, and it's David Clifford again. Back in here this time, as far as Sean O'Shea, trying to take on Mick Fitzsimons. Right on the end line, looking for a bit of an angle. He's made an angle. What an angle that was, and what a point.
Yeah, look how low he kicks this ball to avoid the block. Here's the challenge on the middle field. He over solos, but bang, big hit. That's young Spillane, isn't it, that got him? I think it was Adrian Spillane. And then over the bar, the far end. Great reply.
Again, the pressure applied by Kerry on Cooper. Now James McCarthy, who started each one of the 7 All-Ireland appearances for Dublin so far in this sequence. Gavin Crowley commits himself, goes strongly to it against James McCaffrey, given off to Kyron Kilkenny, his first contribution. Dean Rock then looking at the target, eyeing it. Beautiful point by Dean Rock.
Never in doubt, sure. Lovely curl, just the sort of start he'd want, and over the bar. We'd see him as a free-taking specialist, of course, but look how accurate that is.
4 attacks so far, 2 per team, 3 scores produced, and that's not the best kick out that Shane Ryan's ever done. Player who plays outfield with his club, which is Rathmore in Kerry. So he's put his team under pressure immediately. Kyron Kilkenny back in here as far as Con O'Callaghan, gives it off here as far as Dean Rock again, immediately challenged, this time by Jason Foley, dragged back. It's going to be a free in.
Definitely under pressure, coming across the defence. There was a hand in and held back, you can see it there, very clear. And these are the sort of scores that just this young Kerry defence cannot concede, because these are tap overs. These Peter Wellington's on you, be tapping these over the bar, and they can't concede these.
Dean Rock with a nice pair of boots and not the wellies on. He's contributed just under 27% of all Dublin scores over the past 5 championship seasons. Scored already here. Couldn't miss from there. Dublin getting off to a very satisfactory start, up by 2 already. Jim Gavin, his 47th championship match in charge. 43 wins so far, an astonishing record.
You see how slow down the Kerry keeper has gone now, just to ensure that they get the possession following the previous one that went over the sideline. So just a nice slow down from Shane Ryan.
So they've now got to try and work it through the lines. Tom O'Sullivan. Here's Gavin Crowley on the ground where he scored a goal in the league final back at the end of March. In as far as David Moran, be expected to exert a big influence on this game. David Moran, it's a good angled pass in here, but too near to the Dublin marker. And it's Michael Dara-McCauley who gets it away, out as far as John Small. Off balance, never got it right. doesn't score too many. Just one so far in this year's championship. Kerry go short again quickly to Paul Murphy. 2 behind in the early stages. Just managed 2 attacks so far, Kerry. Once again, David Moore, and starting very deep. Paul Murphy. Here's Jack Barry taking it from him. Kerry have additional players back the whole time. Here's Jason Foley. Gavin Crowley again. Not making very much headway. Dublin hoping to try and apply some pressure. Here's Adrian Spillane once more. Made that very good shoulder earlier on Johnny Cooper. Nicely down to Sean O'Shea, their only scorer so far, Kerry. In as far as Paul Gainey, first time he's got his hands on the ball in this match. Back to O'Shea. Gainey darting forward. Scored a goal and 4 here against Dublin in the semi-final 3 years ago. Will take a lot of watching. Decent ball in, Sean O'Shea trying to get in. Back it comes here to Gainey on the line. I think it was James McCarthy who got it off. Well stopped. Should have been in the back of the net, but for the intervention of the Mcmahon player. Brian Fenton. Well, that's just a warning for Dublin, an indication of what this Kerry forward line possesses. Back out quickly to Brian Howard, lobbing it in. Nicely taken by Con O'Callaghan, wearing 11 but drifting into full forward. Back out as far as McCaffrey again. Michael Dara McCauley against Tyg Morley. Comes to Niall Scully, a goal scorer here against Tyrone in last year's final. McCarthy slowing it down once more. Dublin in control. Here's David Byrne. Brian Fenton laying it off here as far as Kyron Kilkenny. Going left, and then a little run by Dean Rock to pick it up. Under hitting it. Back out it comes to Paul Murphy. And almost dispossessed there, Kerry, by Paul Mannion. Got away with it. Murphy again. Was in that sweeper role. Didn't look terribly comfortable in the semi-final 3 weeks ago. Plenty of room out here for Jack Barry. Able to push forward now. Dublin not committing anybody immediately. Brian Fenton getting close to him now. Gavin Crowley. Paul Gainey lobbing it in. Well taken by David Clifford. That's not going anywhere too near the goal, not immediately anyway. Gathered in very, very smartly by Jack McCaffrey for Dublin. Then he's fouled. Here's Brian Howard. Dublin trying to play it at their own pace and dictate the terms of engagement. Brian Howard playing in his 16th ever championship match, one of the relative newcomers. Kerry unable to get that ball back. It's Brian Fenton instead. Looking to try and make this next attack count. James McCarthy rather. Oh, dispossessed that time. And it's Jack Barry who takes it away to Sean O'Shea. Clifford is very, very deep. Just one man up front, and that is Paul Gainey. Not a lot to aim at. He's been marked by a couple of players. O'Shea again. Looking for someone to give him an easy option. It's Gavin Crowley, challenged by 2 Dublin players, trying to get in past Kilkenny. But when you do that, there's Niall Scully there as well. Now they've managed to free up David Clifford. Let's see what Kerry can do with this attack. And they've missed another one. Second wide of the match, and he's been wide with both.
Yeah, again, you wouldn't expect it, Ger, from those positions. Right foot this time, of course. Great work by Gavin Crowley under huge pressure here in the Hogan, but guns pass off. That's a missed opportunity.
And James McCarthy we saw there taking that ball off the line. Michael Fitzsimons. There's John Small. About to be dispossessed. Well stolen away by Adrian Spillane. Dublin got just a little bit too casual. O'Shea then looking up and look to see where Clifford is going, and he's going out towards the wing to try and pick this one up. Nobody in for Kerry in nearer the goal, so he's got to carry this one himself. A lack of support, tries the option, and he puts it over the bar. Third attempt by David Clifford, it finally comes off. What about that for a steal?
And used his head as well just to knock it away from Mick Fitzsimons. But down the other end, Clifford now has got the radar working nicely, and a lovely point again off his right.
3 points to 2. David Byrne, calm and measured in his approach. Brian Fenton. Again, it's Jack Barry who goes across to try and keep tabs on his movement forward. Dean Rock giving it to Kyron Kilkenny. Directing operations, it bounces awkwardly here, this time for Paul Mannion, and Kerry are in there quickly, doggedly winning it back to Tadhg Morley, giving it back out as well towards Gavin Crowley. Then he was fouled, and it's a free to the Kingdom. Just any kind of lapse anywhere in and around the Kerry goal, and the backs will be in quickly on it. Here's Paul Gainey, huge one down towards David Clifford. Yeah, and there was a holding violation. It's a penalty. Well, we had a couple of penalties in last year's final, and we've got one here for holding.
Yeah, Johnny Cooper, he got caught ball watching. So clever to see the inside ball so quickly. Clifford looked for it, put up the hand, and he just catches him because he loses sight of it, and it's certainly a penalty. There it is.
Not sure, was there a card as well? No card. No yellow given, but there is a penalty, and it's Paul Gainey who's going to take it. The scorer of 11 championship goals already. In the 12th minute, up against Stephen Cluxton. Kerry a point behind. And still a point behind. Cluxton makes the save.
Now, has he come off his line? Or is he happy enough?
Well, he did come off his line, you're right. But he got there.
45.
Really good piece of goalkeeping by Stephen Cluxton. The 8th time he has been facing Kerry in the championship. And what a miss from a Kerry point of view.
And again, if you recall, it was Paul Gainey that had the goal chance earlier that James McCarthy finished at. Just that little bit of confidence can take it away from you, and then you get the penalty on top of it. So 2 massive goal chances, no return.
Sean O'Shea is going to take this one. Looking to add to the point he got from play right at the beginning of the match. Nicely directed, and over the bar it goes. So they are level at 3 points apiece after 13 minutes of play. There's that penalty again. He was way off his line, and the ruling says you're supposed to stay on your line. You can go from side to side, but you can't advance. They got away with it, Dublin.
Yes.
Here's Brian O'Biagli. Gainey once again. Couple of near misses by him. Into Stephen O'Brien, his first time to get his hands on the ball. And he's driven it over the bar. Point for O'Brien. A goal opportunity presented, however.
He went for it, John.
I think he did. Just too much elevation, however. And Kerry lead 4 points to 3. Every indication it's going to be a right good contest here. That long kick into the middle is won by Kerry and by Jack Barry. Giving it out to Gainey. McCaffrey standing off him. Playing that ball in towards Clifford. Clifford giving plenty of problems for Johnny Cooper, that's for sure. Back it comes towards Paul Gainey again, but he hasn't, or has he? Has he got it in?
It's a Hawkeye, surely.
Yeah, it's a Hawkeye moment. It started outside, it just might have got in. That's Dean Goff, by the way. There's a cousin of the referee, David Goff, making the call there. So let's see.
I'm not sure it came around in time. We had a good view of it, but there was a lot of bend on it, a lot of swerve.
Towards the very end it did swerve, but it hasn't swerved in. and that's a kneel. So it goes down as third wide for Kerry.
But it's all Kerry at the moment. They will be hugely pleased with this opening quarter effort. They're well into the tune of the game.
Cluxton going long again. And again, it's Kerry hands that managed to get that ball. And it is Jack Barry once again. Second super catch he's made. Up into the corner once again to Clifford, who's causing problems. This time it's Fitzsimons who's out marking him. Back it comes to Gavin Crowley. David Moran fancying this one. But he pulls it badly. And it's another one that's gone away to that left-hand side. Stays at 4 points to 3.
Yeah, that's the only concern they can have are these misses now, because they're very scoreable, and obviously the 2 goal chances.
That's a superb kick out this time, as far as Brian Howard, all the way down to Paul Mannion. Now let's see what Dublin are able to do with their possession. Kerry have been wasteful. That's across the face, and it's over the bar. Paul Mannion second. Level again at 4 points apiece.
And heels on Jason Foley, who is no slouch, as you know, Ger, and give him a clean pair of heels.
Dublin managed to work that ball in from time to time in towards the key scoring areas and make the most of their opportunities. We saw David Moran there hit one from quite a distance out. It's not the kind of thing that you'd anticipate Dublin doing.
That's a great start, though. 4 points apiece, and the first quarter just gone by like a bullet.
Brilliant play by Jack McCaffrey to steal it away from David Moran. Nice ball inside. Dean Rock trying to pick it up, trotted away by Murphy, out as far as Moran again. His father, of course, Dennis Ogie Moran, one of those denied the 5 in a row back in 1982. Kerry just want to win today. Dublin want to win their 5th title in a row, and their 7th in 9 years. Paul Gainey booting it in as far as Clifford. Cooper is there, and Cooper indicted again by the match referee. And this time there will be a card, I think.
I'd like to see that replay, because some of those clever forwards also can get a grip as well. Cooper is experienced, but he's got a yellow now.
First yellow card of the match. Well, the hand was caught.
Yeah, for sure. Great call by the ref. Yellow card. He'd been involved earlier on in the penalty incident when we noted he didn't get one, but this time he had to.
So it's going to be a 13-metre free, which Sean O'Shea will take. Plays a key role, Sean O'Shea, in general play, linking defence and attack. And player has scored a goal and 30, in fact a goal and 40 at this stage. 41, because he's just got his 3rd point of the match, and Kerry lead 5 points to 4. Well, they came here in the minds of many people as no hopers. Funny game, football. Anything can happen, as we know. Cluxton once again surveying the scene here just to see the optimum place. He's targeting Brian Howard again. Brilliant leap in the air. Up over Gavin White to win that. That's superb. Kyron Kilkenny beautifully inside to Scully. They're moving, and it's McCaffrey. McCaffrey drills it home. It's another goal for Jack McCaffrey. He got one here against Cork in the Super 8s, and he's got one now in the 19th minute. And Dublin lead by 1-4 to 5 points.
This is unreal, Ger, because the Kerry defence had pushed up and left their markers in the hope of just overplaying the kick out. But Howard's catch opens up everything. And what a magnificent pass just to McCaffrey. All the pace taken out of him. And McCarthy buries it into the net. What a score.
McCaffrey's 4th ever championship goal. And that time David Moran has been fouled. But what a blow that is, and what a super goal by Jack McCaffrey. All of it coming from the fabulous kick out. Stephen O'Brien trying to get around Michael Darragh Macaulay, and he's succeeded in doing so. Again, there's a tug there, I think, on Sean O'Shea, but the referee says play on to James McCarthy, which he does. That's up into the air. Kiefer was in a little bit of difficulty, but looked calm as he got it away. Stephen Cluxton, his 105th championship appearance for Dublin today. What a career he's had. Out as far as Niall Scully. Back into Mick Fitzsimons. Off the ball, the referee is just tying up his laces. Calm as you like. And Fitzsimons moves that ball smartly forward to Macaulay once again. What a lovely turn by Paul Mannion, taking on Tadhg Morley. There was speculation that Morley would be on Con O'Callaghan. Turned back inside again here, and this is O'Callaghan, caught. And the referee has the notebook out, and Jack Barry facing the music.
Just closed fist, just a noting, Ger.
No card. But he has been noted. Any more offences like that one, and he will certainly be seeing a yellow card. Con O'Callaghan, scorer of 2 goals, of course, in the semi-final early in the second half against Mayo.
And just a quick chance, Ger, if I shout out a few of the matchups just for those that are, it was a big discussion point. Foley is on Rock, Morley is on Mannion, O'Sullivan's on Con O'Callaghan, and Small on O'Brien, and Fenton kind of on Moore a lot of the time, but vice versa. Sometimes Jack Barry is involved, obviously, but a very interesting opening 20 minutes where all the cards are being played now, and it's man on man.
Dean Rock with 2 points so far in the game. Looking to try and increase Dublin's lead. Not landing it here, however. It is just their second wide of the match. But this, again, that fabulous goal scored by Jack McCaffrey. There was absolutely nothing I think Shane Ryan could do about that one, and Dublin fans are particularly happy.
Well, just the manner they had pushed up. Kerry were cheating really on the kick out, and then the great catch by Howard opens up the whole play.
After they had lost a number of kickouts prior to that, and they won this one from Kerry, as Kerry opt to go long with their kickouts. Once again, it is Mannion, a real contender, I think, for Footballer of the Year. Niall Scully, Brian Fenton, who was, of course, last year's #1 footballer. Brian Howard giving it to James McCarthy. Back out to McCaffrey again, fancying more, why not? He's got such pace, gets away from the block and puts it out, but it came off a defender. It's gone for a 45. He's such a threat, time and again, Jack McCaffrey. 2 goals and 3 points he scored already in this year's championship. It was a block there by Adrian Spillane, just got his fingertips to it.
Just that pace is so frightening for defenders when it comes across you. You know, you don't want to lunge in or stand back off it. In the end, it was a good effort at the block, but the 45 results, and you know how good Rock is at these as well as Sean O'Shea.
Dean Rock, who got 7 points in last year's final. 3 of those were from open play, 1 from open play today. These are all real pressure kicks. Dublin by 2. And unwelcome jeering ringing around in his ears. Hits it beautifully. Well, that's the answer to the jeers. And that's his 3rd point of the match. 1-5 to 5 points. That was the one that was taken off the line there by James McCarthy.
Yeah, on Paul Gainey. So 2 huge opportunities left behind.
Well, especially the penalty, of course. 3 against 1 there. Gavin White struggling to get into the match. James McCarthy setting off again with Brian Howard here, funneling this ball in to O'Callaghan. Up against Jason Foley. It's O'Callaghan. It's still O'Callaghan. And he's got to be pulled back because it's got to be a free from the 20-metre line for an earlier foul. But ever the threat. O'Callaghan in full flow here, and the goalkeeper got the side of his body to it.
It was a good save by Shane Ryan, because that goal would have stood.
Very tall goalkeeper, 6'3". He's the 4th goalkeeper, by the way, to be used by Kerry in recent seasons. Brian Kelly is the sub goalkeeper today. He was the goalkeeper when they won the All-Ireland back in 2014. Dean Rock's been busy. He's got 4, Dublin get another, and it's 1-6 to 5 points. And Kerry need to get back scoring once again. Their last score was back in the 18th minute. So they've gone nearly 7 minutes without a score. Shane Ryan again opting to go long. The targets in there will be David Moran and Jack Barry, and this time Moran wins it, then he's fouled. Wants to take it quickly. There are a couple of runs being made forward. Oof. Crunching tackle there on Paul Gainey by Brian Howard. Referee gives the free kick to Dublin. Well, what will Peter Keane be making of the opening 25 minutes, I wonder?
Well, it's the scoring chances. This is the issue. They've only got 5 from 14, and that is, in simple maths, the big issue for them. They're trailing by 4 when really it's not that sort of a match.
Niall Scully gets there ahead of O'Biagley, and then the ball ends up in the crowd. Kerry take the line ball quickly. Need to get moving. Brian O'Biagley. Jack Barry. In case you joined us late, Jack Barry was called in before the start in place of Killian Spillane. Jason Foley, one of the most mobile, pacey of the Kerry defenders. Here's Paul Murphy. Off the ball, there are a couple of players on the deck, and the referee is in quickly to deal with that. John Small is one of them. Again, it's a noting for John Small. Everybody being absolutely careful about their discipline in this match. Just one yellow card so far, that against Johnny Cooper. And we saw how crucial and critical a yellow card was in the semi-final when Lee Keegan got one and then struggled in the second half to defend as adequately as he wanted to.
And John Small, you know, has form, as they say, and he really needs to be careful with his discipline. Lucky enough that didn't venture into any other sort of territory but a ticking.
It's a long kick for Sean O'Shea to take. Now, can he make it? Umpires right behind the goal nod and say yes. A fourth for Sean O'Shea, keeping Kerry nicely in touch. That goal by Jack McCaffrey separating the teams. Cluxton again, easily able to pick out David Byrne. Absent from the championship team last year, he had injuries. Johnny Cooper. It's a newly shaped full back line for Dublin in this year's All-Ireland final. David Byrne back again. Now there's a gap. Kerry back around the D, but Dublin with possession. Kilkenny threatening as ever. Jack McCarthy back in again to the other Jack McCaffrey. And that one eventually put over the bar by Dean Rock. 5 for Dean Rock, 2 of them from open play. All of it started by James McCarthy with Jack McCaffrey involved as well.
Look at the tidy up there though, how quickly he flicked it up to himself and then almost in the same movement puts it over the bar. Beautiful score.
Lovely, intricate football by Dublin. Kerry with their backs to the wall and under an awful lot of pressure. Gavin White trying to get away from the challenges. They're tough and they're fierce, and Dublin mean business. This was Gavin White. Play now continues over at the other end of the field, and it's Paul Murphy. Sean O'Shea, back to Murphy again, trying to make every attack count. He scored in the 2014 final, hasn't scored here, however, and it's wide number 5. Well, the number 7 for Dublin, John Small, here has been called aside by the referee. Is getting a yellow card for persistent holding. So that's the second yellow card issued to a Dublin defender.
And of course he's picking up the the danger man in many respects, the one man who will run with the ball and run directly, Stephen O'Brien, and that's why the pressure has been applied, and he's resorted a few times to pulling off the ball, but the referee has dealt with it now, so he's on a tight wire.
He is, and not alone that, but he's had a problem in the last 2 All-Ireland finals. As we know, he didn't finish those finals because of card trouble, well, essentially disciplinary trouble. Gavin White's okay, and everybody's back once again, and it'll be Stephen Cloxton to take this.
This is a big 5 minutes now for Kerry, coming up to half-time. They've got to try and narrow the lead and get themselves into a position.
Cloxton eyeing the different targets. He had 2 in mind, and he got one of them. Dean Rock, brilliantly done. Out as far as Kyron Kilkenny. Gavin Crowley near him, beautifully into O'Callaghan. Is he going to get another one? He does. Point for Con O'Callaghan, and Dublin steal in front by 5 points. And they are full value.
Oh, for sure, and you have to see how clever Kilkenny is. He looks at O'Callaghan, then he goes in back door and he plays the ball over the top, so that O'Callaghan, very similar to the goal he got against Mayo.
Brilliantly done that time by Adrian Spillane, and a great kick out by Shane Ryan. Jack Barry. In it comes to David Clifford, and the referee is this time going to call aside James McCarthy. It's for a jersey tug. Just a little warning. Free kick to Kerry. Sean O'Shea will take it, looking to make it a 4-point game again and keep it manageable.
And it is his frees that are keeping Kerry in the game, because they've slackened off on the scoreboard, bar the Sean O'Shea free kicks, but he's been excellent with them to date. Off the ground, he's a beautiful striker.
Only 2 other scorers from play, and that is from Stephen O'Brien and David Clifford, and he's made this one as well. Sean O'Shea doing his job really well. 1-8 to 7 points. Johnny Cooper. Stephen Cloxton's goal has been under sporadic threat. David Byrne. McCarthy. There's Michael Fitzsimons. Pace injected when Jack McCaffrey gets involved. Scully. His team's had a wonderful match in the league back in Tralee in February. 1-pointer on that occasion. Peter Crowley has been injured all season, the winner on that particular night. Michael Darragh McCauley out to James McCarthy again. Scully. Con O'Callaghan. It's intricate, it's pacey, it's dynamic as well, and once again they draw the foul, and it's Con O'Callaghan's movement and courage of taking on his man.
Well, that is, I would suggest, Ger, in the soft variety. All the momentum was coming from Con O'Callaghan. I didn't see any holding violations. I didn't see him pulling back. He drove into it, and I think he can count himself lucky he got that particular free.
And the free will be taken once again by Dean Rock. Missed the early stage of the championship. Hasn't missed anything this afternoon, that's for sure. 6 points his tally out of Dublin's 1 goal and 9. The view of a packed Croke Park, 82,000 people here to see this battle of champions. Oh, that's very short by Murphy that time, almost selling a pop there to his colleague.
Massive pressure on that kick out, and lucky again. That's why the 3rd or 4th time they've just got away with it.
Shane Ryan. Paul Murphy now, looking to try and establish some kind of foothold in the middle of the park, because it's been mostly Dublin. There'll be 1 additional minute played at the end of the opening 35. Sean O'Shea under pressure, helped out by O'Biagli. They get it as far as David Moran, looking for something before half-time, Kerry, and there's a pullback there. Johnny Cooper's on the ground. He's got a yellow card before. He's got a second one. He's on red and he's off. Dublin are down to 14 after 35 minutes. Now, how big a body blow will this be?
Well, it's the perfect call. He uses the body to shield it. That's what Clifford is doing. That's what any good forward will do. Johnny Cooper gets caught the wrong side when he pulls him down to the ground. He was on a yellow. There was only one decision to be made. He had to go, Ger.
He's the 21st player to be sent off in an All-Ireland final. Jim Gavin will have half-time to reassess things. Cooper goes. Kerry will have a free kick. Now, how big a body blow is that going to prove? Dublin certainly have the players to make adjustments, and they'll surely now have to consider a substitution very, very quickly.
Well, it's coming up to half-time, so there's...
Sean O'Shea. He's got another, he's got 6. So they eat into the Dublin lead. This is it again here. Clifford hauled back by Johnny Cooper. Second time he did that. But he was in a certain amount of difficulty all through the game, Cooper, with David Clifford. Dublin won't make any changes before half-time. We've reached the break now, but they'll probably have to seriously consider what they're going to do. They got a major boost after 19 minutes when Jack McCaffrey scored the only goal of the game so far. Kerry saw Paul Gainey strike a penalty to the right of the goalkeeper, saved by Stephen Cloxton. So at the break, it's Dublin who lead. It's Dublin 1-9, Kerry 8 points in the 2019 All-Ireland football final.
What an incident-packed first half of this year's All-Ireland final. Dublin leading Kerry 1-9 to 8 points at the break, but they will play the entire second half with just 14 men after that sending off for Johnny Cooper near the end of that opening half. There's so many things we could pick out that were key to that opening half. Let's get to the first one, because Kerry started off quite well. Then they had this penalty and they had the chance to go on well on top.
Yeah, great chance. Kerry started very well, took the game to the dubs. Two-man full forward line, had isolated David Clifford inside. This one-on-one with Johnny Cooper. I think, to be quite honest, I didn't see a penalty at this. I thought this was as soft a penalty as you'll get. Very, very lucky. I think minimal contact, hardly a free, but a soft penalty. But look, I think this man, Stephen Cloxton, look, the greatest goalie of all time. What a save. And if that doesn't guarantee him an All-Star, nothing will. But, you know, Kerry needed to score that. Dublin settled into the game after that. And from there on, Dublin were the better. And Gainey, you're right. Clifford has been very good in the full forward. Look, it boils down very quickly to the conversion rate. Kerry are converting 47%. 3 scores from play out of 11 shots. Dublin's conversion rate is 6 from play out of 9. That's the difference.
A massive feature of that opening half was this risk and reward kick-out strategy from Kerry.
We said it was going to be a huge tactical battle. They done what Dublin do. They put 4 across the middle. That's why they made the change before the match when they brought in an extra midfielder. But Jason Foley is the one stepping off Dean Rock. But this is when it goes horribly wrong. When Dublin come forward, Mannion gets the score. Cluxton adapted to. We lost 2 kick-outs and then Cluxton goes long. And here it is out to Brian Howard, I think. Howard comes with a brilliant catch. And all of a sudden Kerry are out of position. There's Jason Foley out of position. Dublin are on the front foot. They have an overlap. In comes McCaffrey, straight through, ball back of the net. So they paid a price for pushing up Joanne. They've conceded 1-2 off Cluxton's long kick out. This one I think it might be Dean Rock. But this is Dean Rock.
And Kieran, as we were saying, look, you know, the Kerry press was risky, but it was looking great. They'd knocked over 3 Cluxton kickouts. They were in possession, but all of a sudden these balls going over the top, and the ruthlessness of Dublin with that 1-2 burst, and immediately, of course, Kerry had to revert.
This is the Dean Rock.
This is Dean Rock, like again, and they actually backed off for a few minutes, and then they pressed one more time. Joanne, they came up, and Rock actually wins the ball. He was had a brilliant first half. First time Conor Callan gets in behind and he taps the score. So 5 points off it. But Joe's right what he said. They were getting a return from it. They pushed right up. They had rattled Cluxton for 4 or 5 minutes. But that's what Cluxton does. We've seen him do that over the last year. He goes long and he picks out. But he has that long kick out in his lap back, and it hurt Kerry badly.
I think if we've got to go back to David Goff. who I am very
let's look at one of the key moments
I mean,
that he was involved in, because Johnny Cooper and David Clifford had this brilliant battle going on in the full-back, full-forward line.
So you're talking about...
That's probably a yellow, Joe.
I think...
He said one foul before that, so it's a second foul, so you can't...
I agree, that's
you can't argue with that.
I have no issue with that. But the penalty was a scandal. It was not a penalty in a million years. This is a free out. Clifford manoeuvres his body around to keep him off him. Cooper tries to get around to get at the ball, and instead of it being a free out, it's a free in. No, it doesn't. It's never in a million years.
Two lads coming together going for a ball. Simple as that.
I think anyone knows that I can't sometimes exactly as I see it, and I'm not wearing a Kerry cap or a Kerry flag. In that incident, what Clifford did for that second booking, Clifford used his body to shield the ball. And what happened was, Johnny Cooper grabbed him by the arms and pulled him down. It's a yellow card. 2 yellows equal red. He had to go on. They're the facts.
No chance.
There is lots more debate. There is lots more debate.
Clifford holds his body.
And we will have that after the break and our competition. So how huge will this be in the second half of the All-Ireland final? This leading to the sending off. It was for persistent fouling that Johnny Cooper received his yellow card.
There's no doubt that was a foul. The penalty was never a penalty. The referee, I think, must clearly have been influenced by the propaganda that's been coming from Kerry. I mean, I am so surprised because David's so clear-minded. So that one, Clifford knows he's on a yellow. He's holding him off. He's blocking him off the play. How long, Patrick? We confidently expected that it was a free out. In fact, I think you thought that as well, Joanne. In fact, people were shocked when all of a sudden the yellow card was administered.
Hold on.
I mean, it was never.
Kyron, the sending off is for persistent fouling. That is one foul you're seeing there.
Okay, well, the way I look at it, I actually don't think it's even a foul. I think that's two guys going for the ball.
That is one incident. Persistent fouling means there have been several fouls committed.
But that's fine, but I don't think it's a foul.
Yeah, it's a free.
That's the key. I don't think it's a foul. It's two guys going for ball. He leans in. They're both going for the ball. Like, that's a play on. That's play on, in my opinion. But then, listen, we're all going to be... Pat's going to be biased to Kerry. I'm going to be biased to Pat's. No, actually we are. That's the way we're... That's our makeup.
I'm not going to be biased. I've never been biased. I call something exactly as I see it. The bottom line, he shielded... The ball came to him. He used his body to protect it.
And Cooper goes for the ball.
Cooper goes for the ball. He's trying to get a hand in the ball. Cooper holds him by the arm. And as Cooper is falling, he's still holding David Clifford.
Okay, Kyron, a straightforward question. Does Cooper or does he not hold the arm of David Clifford in that instance?
I think he's going in for the ball, Joanne.
Does he hold his arm?
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
There's a pull. There's no doubt there's a pull.
Was there a precedent set?
As he's coming off his feet.
Was there precedent set by David Goff when he gave Michael Murphy and Donegal a very similar penalty to the one he gave today against Mayo and Castlebar?
No, hold on. The penalty today was not a penalty. It was two arms brushing off a guy.
Was there a precedent? I mean, this isn't... Joe says it's because he's under pressure for this All-Ireland, because what Eamon Fitzmaurice said. But hasn't he already given a very similar penalty?
He did not give a very similar penalty. He did not.
Joanne, I think the biggest...
The jersey was being held in the square. He was being held down on his knees.
He gave a very similar penalty against Michael.
He did not give a similar penalty.
Okay.
That was not the first cousin of a penalty.
Kieran, we need to talk about the second half. What do you expect to happen, and how do Kerry use their extra man?
Well, firstly, from a Dublin perspective, John Small's on a yellow card. Dublin have to be very, very careful. He might not appear for the second half. If they go to 13, they're in right trouble.
And is there a decision adjusted by the fact that now they've lost another defender, Johnny Cooper?
Absolutely. I think we'd see Philly McMahon. I actually think Kerry should bring on Tommy Walsh now. I would change it. I'd put in an extra man. I'd change it right now for this third quarter. I'd say Dublin probably are expecting it, but Dublin have a weakness now in that defence. Dublin looked like they were going to take, and this has changed the game totally. We're into the third quarter period where Dublin upped their game. Kerry now have an extra man. They have to utilise in the right way, but then do something different at the other end of the pitch as well. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, Kerry are out. I don't know whether Tommy Walsh is on the pitch.
And I think they came out and they did the warm-up just like you said they did the last time.
Said they came out early before the match as well,
Sorry, Joanne.
I was just going to say, do they try to shut up shop to prevent that great charge coming out? By the way, Tommy Walsh is not on for the start of the second half.
No, they're starting just to say in 15. No,
they've got a man.
They have to ensure that Dublin doesn't get the third quarter start that they did against Mayo. But the key thing, it boils down to shooting. 3 points from play out of 11 shots is not good enough, and unless they convert, they're in trouble.
Okay, there you see both teams now back on the pitch. An interesting second 35 minutes ahead. Don't forget commentary in Irish on RT News now with Dara and Gary, but for us it's back to Kevin and Ger.
No changes made that we can see, Joanne. 4 points between them. Started the second half. We had the Down Jubilee team out here from 1994 during half-time. And, of course, earlier in the day, Cork won the minor, beating Galway in a terrific match, which went to extra time. which will please Tommy Lynch, who's the man who's been associated with Porky Reen for an awful long time. There's a great deal of work there. Second half then, about to get going. Would you agree with the panel that maybe it was time to bring in Tommy Walsh?
No, I think I'd still wait. If this game is in the melting pot, 20 to go, he'll have a big say yet.
He may well have. Jack Barry hoping that he will have a big say in the second half. Gavin Crowley all the way down into the corner, but there's nobody there for it except John Small, who lets it run harmlessly out. Not the start that Kerry were looking for at the beginning of this second half.
So Paul Murphy is gone as the sweeper now, out and out. They have an extra man. They haven't used it in the push-up on the first kick-out. I'm surprised John Small let it go wide. He could have played it on.
This is confidently knocked out as far as James McCarthy. His dad, John, of course, played against Kerry in a couple of All-Ireland finals, scored a goal in one of them back in '76. Under a little bit of pressure here, he touched it on the ground, under serious pressure from Stephen O'Brien, and the referee is bringing the play back. Kerry wanted to take it quickly. Well, it ends up being a free kick for Dublin. Kyron Kilkenny taking it into a two-man inside forward line there. Touched away, down as far as David Moore and from Tom O'Sullivan. Jason Foley. Oof, the goalkeeper shrugging aside the attentions there of O'Callaghan. And they work it out to David Moran. On as far as Sean O'Shea. Stephen O'Brien wanting it. Looking to try and make some more of those very well-timed runs of his. We just saw one or two in the first half. David Moran again. Now Gavin Crowley. Lobbed in here, inside there towards Paul Gain. He takes it under control. Takes on David Byrne. And Byrne reaches out with that left hand, and it eventually, well, it's going to be a 45. The umpire down there, who is Terry Goff, an umpire, or an uncle of the match referee, giving the signal. All the family involved.
Big kick here again now, aren't they all? But it's a 4-point lead. That's the one thing that maybe didn't fall out at the half-time analysis. No matter what way you slice it or dice it, Dublin were up by 4. They're in a great position. You don't lose too many finals when you go in with that type of a lead at half-time. So all these frees, all these 45s are big kicks.
Kerry have been so heavily dependent on Sean O'Shea. 5 of his 6 points coming from place balls, and he's got this up into the air and over again. Good start for the second half. So a goal the margin again. Tommy Griffin there alongside Peter Keane. Stephen Cluxton once more with the restart. Perfectly positioned. These are so well perfected by Cluxton. And still game after game, when you come out to see Dublin play, you expect that surely sometimes some team will manage to get the measure of it, but they have it down to a very fine art.
It's man of the match stuff Cluxton is doing at the moment. He's just dominating the kick-out.
That ball by Brian Howard, and he knew it immediately. Gifting it to Kerry, and a chance for them to come forward again. Try and get the next score. Paul Murphy. Gavin White. On a ground where he played in the club final back on last St. Patrick's Day. Clifford. 1 point so far in the match. Oh, just got completely mixed up there with Sean O'Shea and came to naught in the end.
It's too intricate, wasn't it? Too close, that short interpassing. Has to be spot on. It was going to be that tight.
Dublin the man down, and yet Dublin able to pick out a player immediately from a kick out each time. David Byrne this time. Stopped by O'Brien. Won back by James McCarthy, however. Casts aside the challenge there of O'Brien, and then into that situation came Paul Gainey to add his considerable muscle. Ball turned over. What a crucial second half this is. History very much in the making. Will it be 5 in a row for Dublin. Or can Kerry win their first in 5 years? Gavin White slipping as he takes on McCaffrey, gives it off to Murphy again. Murphy 13 metres out, a real chance, hits the frame of the goal, comes back out to Paul Gainey, and a block on it then, and it's gone for a 45. What a chance that was for Murphy.
Off the crossbar, he comes in at awful speed. It looked like he's going to take his point, and then he realises this is a goal chance, and does he let it have it? And it is, a touch by Cluxton actually on the way.
It's a superb save by Cluxton. As you say, man of the match stuff by Stephen Cluxton so far. He saved a penalty, he's tipped that one onto the bar and denied Kerry a goal, and his kickouts have been superb.
The follow-up, by the way, off the crossbar came to Paul Gainey. He should have done better, Jerry. He should have tidied up and got a point. But this puts more pressure on O'Shea, but he's been equal to it so far. This puts 2 points between it, and it is a massive situation now in the second half.
And you're expecting that surge to come from Dublin, which it always seems to do in a second half championship match. Will it materialise today? It's O'Shea. Will it come in right of centre? It does. He lands another one. What a game he's playing. That's his 8th. He's keeping Kerry very, very firmly in the hunt for the Sam Maguire Cup. This short kick out this time, intended for Howard. McCarthy managed to boot it forward to Michael Dara McCauley. On as far as Paul Mannion. Challenged vigorously here by Clyde Morley. Mannion gets away. Back up as far as McCaffrey. Second involvement in the attack. McCaffrey again shrugs his shoulders, comes in and fists it up and puts it over the bar. That's a goal and a point for Jack McCaffrey. That's some return.
That's great stuff. He was looking for a long way out, and great decision making. The angle was getting too tight, and just pop it over the bar with the open hand. Lovely score, an important score, back to a single score game, 3 points.
Adrian Spillane in some difficulty, and now the question is whether or not he's going to be able to continue.
Well, here's a chance for Tommy Walsh, surely, isn't it?
It must be. How long do you wait before trying some of your ace players on the bench who turned the game in Kerry's favour 3 weeks ago in the semi-final? Not just Tommy Walsh, but you're looking at Jack Sherwood maybe as well. Stephen O'Brien now looking to try and get the next score. Gavin Crowley nicely into the corner here. Throw of the shoulders by Sean O'Shea, picked up by Gainey. Back in to Gavin Crowley again, popping it up, and more importantly, popping it over the bar. His first ever championship point. 110-11. Margins 2.
First ever point. What a day to get it. And everything keeps getting tighter and tighter.
Brian Fenton hasn't absolutely dominated in the second half so far. Fenton. James McCarthy. Back to David Byrne again. Here comes Kyron Kilkenny. No panic from Dublin's point of view. That's in there towards O'Callaghan, but he was remarkable. 2 players. Got enough on it to give it out to Mannion. Up into the air to ask a few questions, and when it comes back from a Kerry hand, it comes out to Gavin Crowley. And they come again with Gavin White. Crowley once more. Jason Foley. Inevitably, it's Sean O'Shea going to play a key role. Killian Spillane, we understand, may be coming in presently. This is Paul Gainey. Back towards O'Brien again. He caught it. He makes headway. He's going down, but there's no penalty this time. And Dublin come forward with the ball. And Kerry fans all around us here are pleading with the referee. McCauley back out as far as Kyron Kilkenny for Dublin. And they launch the counter-attack. And it is McCarthy now to Kilkenny. Racing on for this one is Michael Dara McCauley, the Ballyvoden St Enda's man. That time he takes a travel and he loses possession, and it's going to be a free against him.
Adrian Spillane's in trouble. Well, let's have a look at this now. There is a little bit of holding, and that could have been another penalty. That's outside. The free is outside if he was to give it, but there was plenty of holding going on. One Spillane gone, another Spillane injured.
Killian Spillane just coming on for his 4th ever championship match, and disappointing end to the afternoon for Adrian, his brother. Adrian, the older of the two Spillane, sons of Tom, of course. Dad, one of the 1982 team.
It's a blood injury, I think.
Looks to be. Gainey hasn't scored so far. Missed that penalty. Had a couple of chances. Dragged back the hand there of Michael Fitzsimons. Fitzsimons well in control of that situation.
Gainey is playing well, Ger. He's in his general loose play. He's contributing very well. Not on the scoreboard, as you mentioned, but he is doing well.
When play continues, it's going to be a free to Kerry. Deep in their own half. Paul Murphy has taken it. Tom O'Sullivan. He's got a super championship so far, man marking. Scored a goal against Cork, of course, in the Munster final. He's kept moving forward now, O'Sullivan, as David Moran carries it deep into Dublin territory. First possession for Killian Spillane. He's going to run at them. 6 points in the championship so far for him. He's taken steps, however, and David Goff quickly to remind him you can only carry it for 4 steps before having to release it, and didn't do so. Cluxton. Brian Howard. Player is consistently involved. Made that wonderful catch to set up the goal which Jack McCaffrey scored in the first half. An all-important goal so far it is. Still there, cut back this time by Sean O'Shea.
So in control of the ball, brilliant work by Howard, and he was under severe pressure from Clifford initially, then O'Shea, and gets the free. But the way he just can control, lovely sidestep, trying to avoid the tackles, great composure.
Part of the young generation we're looking forward to seeing over the next 5 to 10 years. Brian Howard, just 21 years of age. Here's Mick Fitzsimons, a link with the team that won back in 2011. In there went Con O'Callaghan, he wins it, and the referee lets play continue, and it's booted over by Paul Mannion, but it's got to be brought back.
It's the same type of call as the penalty in the first half, except it took place outside this time, just outside. And that holding foul, he's consistent on it.
Tom O'Sullivan, the one who was penalised. Kerry, the team, penalised, and the referee calling him aside now, and he's going to see a yellow. First yellow card for a Kerry player in the match. Dean Rock, 6 points in the first half. No real difficulty with this one. So it's 111 to 11. Some 13 minutes into the second half. There's that fabulous catch again by Con O'Callaghan against Tom O'Sullivan. And Mannion was there ready to pounce, but the referee brought it back.
It's an aspect of O'Callaghan's play that we don't talk about too much, but he's very strong in the air.
Oh, that time there was a push, I think, into the back of Brian Howard. Free very quickly taken. Niall Scully keeping it moving into the corner here. Paul Mannion picking it up. 2 points in the first half. Kilkenny on to McCaffrey again. Nobody really committing to mark him immediately. O'Biagley was loose, and McCaffrey puts it over, and he's got a goal and 2, and Dublin have got 112.
Now this is unreal, Ger. Jack McCaffrey, a goal, another point with his fist. He comes on to his left this time, goes into the centre and just swings it over. Casual as you like. This is an All-Ireland final. Everything on the line, the drive for 5, the whole lot, and he's so composed.
Jack Sherwood is the player who's coming on, and Gavin White making way. Well, Jack Sherwood was highly instrumental in turning the game around in Kerry's favour, but they've got a giant-sized task on their hands now, 4 points adrift. Kerry looking to hold on to their own kick-out, and they manage it with David Moran, magnificent in the air. And they're going to bring the ball forward as Dublin didn't retreat. Booted in now towards Clifford. Wonderful young talent, youngest player playing in the final at 20 years of age against Fitzsimons, giving himself an opportunity, and he gets it over the bar. Point in each half.
Well, I was about to commentate on how excellently Fitzsimons was guarding him, and he was, in fairness, and it took a great shake from Clifford to get a bit of room for himself, but look at the execution.
It's exactly what Kerry required just there. From this latest Dublin kick out, again there was a push in the back which the referee spotted as Dean Rock was coming across to collect. Free to be taken by James McCarthy, one of the Ballymun players. 20 minutes to go in the game. Kyron Kilkenny back, mopping it up. Brian Howard to David Byrne. Good run by Mannion, taking on Morley, testing his pace, and Morley's no slouch. Mannion on his favourite left boot. Maybe that little bit of pressure just paid off there from a Kerry point of view. It's still hanging in the balance, this game. Ooh, needlessly given away that time, putting Jack Sherwood under a lot of pressure. Wasn't able to contain it.
Big margin for error too. He could have, you know, just the adrenaline rush.
And here comes John Small, and John Small's hauled down by Tom O'Sullivan, and he's had a yellow already. So will the game be evened up here, I wonder? Will it be 14 against 14? David Moran's hoping not. Brian Fenton's pushing him away. The referee's having to consider his options, and he's put the notebook away, and it's not going to be a second yellow card.
Well, he's deemed it a noting offence, and that's his yellow plus his first note, and that's why he's not getting the second yellow.
Paddy Small's about to come on. Dean Rock's going to take this. They could penalise Kerry for the indiscretion on the scoreboard and put 4 between them again. And they've had that tidy little lead for much of this game. Eight for Dean Rock. This is the foul again here. Oh, it's a drag back there by Tom O'Sullivan, but he got away with it. Didn't collect a second yellow. Michael Dara McCauley's going. And the player coming on is number 26, Paddy Small. So 2 members of the Small family are playing, and Tommy Walsh is about to come in as well. There he is. Well, the last time he played in an All-Ireland final was in 2009 against Cork. He scored 4 points that afternoon as Kerry won. Well, now is the hour. There's been such a clamour for him to play in this match. He replaces Brian O'Biagli. So now they brought in the 2 key players who turned the match around against Tyrone. Can they work the oracle again? They hold on to possession, Kerry, with Sean O'Shea. They're 4 points behind. It's Gainey who means business. Jack McCaffrey trying to get in a telling challenge. And the challenge certainly was telling, because Gainey kicked it wide.
Straight away, James McCarthy has gone on Tommy Walsh, and he was right tight beside him for that in ball.
Brian Howard, superb control. Such awareness, such skill and craft. That is magical. Kyron Kilkenny. Back to Howard again. Player of immense talent. John Small. Kicked ahead by Brian Fenton. He was looking for the other Small, Paddy Small. Paddy against Paul Murphy. You would never think that Kerry are a team with a man more at this stage for much of what we've seen in the second half so far.
Well, they've used him in the sweeper role, Paul Murphy, just to shore up the defence.
Con O'Callaghan. Dublin looking very able. Small again. Jack McCaffrey just denying Kerry possession now, lobbing it around here, frustrating the Kingdom. Kyron Kilkenny is ever having a huge influence on this match. It reaches Michael Fitzsimons. to Jack McCaffrey. A little dart inside now. Stephen O'Brien trying to put in a challenge, but there's no way to stop the 25-year-old from Clontarf, who's now got a goal on 3.
It's just outstanding. I've no other word for it. He's in on his right this time. It's just that explosive burst of pace, takes him away from the cover, and then he has the skill, of course, to put it over the bar.
This kick out by Kerry is won by Dublin again, and it is Con O'Callaghan picking up the pieces. Kilkenny setting Brian Howard on his way once more. Niall Scully. The amount of hard work he does up and down the side of the park here, carrying that ball, doesn't get the headlines very often. They would see it as a team without stars, but brilliant individuals. And McCaffrey is proving brilliant today. Paddy Smalls had a good season, getting more and more game time. This time clawed away by Shane Ryan.
Didn't he do well? Brilliant play by the goalkeeper.
Extremely well. And we're hoping there's no Hawkeye moment, or at least Kerry will be hoping there's no Hawkeye moment. That's brilliantly done by Walsh. Now Killian Spillane. Spillane, yes! He may have turned the game around with his first ever goal in Championship football, and he's done it in the All-Ireland final after 56 minutes.
Well, let's go back to the goalkeeper in the first instance, Shane Ryan. He stopped at one end, but doesn't Spillane do it? He knows it's a goal. They have to get the goal. What a brilliant finish off his left. Fantastic score from Killian Spillane. Tommy Welsh did well, of course, in the build-up too. David Byrne had it, but they let the ball fall out of his hand. Everything happening now in front of us.
It's a 2-point game. Sean O'Shea requiring some attention. Remember, Kerry's last win over Dublin in the Championship was in 2009 at the All-Ireland quarter-final stage. Referee and cousin Dean there having a little word. This is it again here. Now, is there any possibility that that may have gone over the bar?
Well, I suppose unlike the Schlitter, it's a much bigger diameter ball, so the hole in the ball, yeah, highly unlikely. And of course, Ger, to mention that if it had, Hawkeye would have called it back. There's no chance of awarding a free or a point incorrectly in this stadium.
Blood sub anyway, and it's going to be John Small getting some attention, replaced by Owen Merchant, who of course started last year's All-Ireland final. And that's a kick out that's been intercepted. And it's Tommy Walsh now, steadying himself. Can he make it? Well, he's had some difficulty from situations like that in the past. Almost had too much time on his hands. Should have made it. Into open space here. Jack Barry trying to collect, trying to get there ahead of his man, who is Kyron Kilkenny. And Kilkenny making contact with Barry. Once again, it's Jack Sherwood. Much more urgency, much more belief now in Kerry's approach. Sherwood back out here as far as Sean O'Shea. 2 points behind, looking to make it a 1-point game. This time it's a much better kick from Tommy Walsh. This time he's much more into the rhythm of things, and this time he's scored, and it's 114 to 113. And now it really is anybody's match with 12 minutes to go.
Well, every single possession, doesn't need me to say it now. This is coming right to the boil. 12-13 minutes on the clock.
Well, the referee has got to call a couple of players to him now at this stage for some rough play that he has noted, I believe. And he's going to be giving cards out. First of all, it's Brian Howard, number 12, and number 13, David Clifford, two very young players. So a yellow card per man.
This has been brought to his attention by all the various officials that are mic'd up. He's in constant communication with them.
And the Kerry player Jack Barry is also going to get a yellow card, again for rough play, we've been informed. Kick out for Dublin. It's all to play for. Look at the clock. Nearly an hour gone. 10 minutes to go. Brian Howard. Dublin looking to make it 5 in a row. Something that's never been done before in the 135-year history of the GAA. Paul Gainey now the one who's in some hot water here. Hasn't been booked so far, but is now at the receiving end.
Ger, I have a lot of yellow cards flashing in my notebook here in front of me. So the last 10 minutes, people need to be really careful if they want to finish out this All-Ireland.
It'll be a free kick which Kyron Kilkenny will take. Looking for Paul Mannion, and the bounce deceives him. Morley able to take it. Sherwood able to drive forward. Given a free kick. Stephen O'Brien under pressure here from Paddy Small. Another free kick to Kerry.
Jack Sherwood is now playing the extra man in the Kerry defence, and he's going to give it a lot of drive and a lot of penetration. He's going to try and get further and deeper down the field.
This is Sherwood to Paul Murphy. On they go with David Moran. David Moran running into Niall Scully and trying to get past Scully, and he succeeds. Moran kicking it in. Long ball in there. Walsh taking it down. Sean O'Shea trying to get enough space to kick this one up and over the bar, and the teams are level. Sean O'Shea with his 9th point of the match, his second to come from open play. Jubilation for the Kerry fans with just over 8 minutes of the 70 still to go. Somehow he found enough room to swing the right boot to that. Now questions being asked of Dublin. Down to Mannion. All the way back and beyond Kilkenny this time. But from their point of view, Niall Scully was anticipating, and then he coughs it up. And it's Jack Barry who gives it to the team that were 5-1 in the minds of many people to win this All-Ireland, but who right now are level with the champions of the past 4 years. Gainey to Clifford. Looks confident. Underhits this one, however. Cluxton now able to get the 14 men of Dublin moving forward again with David Byrne. Rock. History in the making over the next 10 to 15 minutes, one way or the other. Jack McCaffrey. Niall Scully. Nice leisurely approach from Dublin's point of view. No great urgency. They're trying to pick their moment. Trying to get the ball to one of their established, acknowledged scorers. Richard Mannion, O'Callaghan, O'Rourke. Here's Merchant. Paddy Small. Paddy Small with 8 championship points so far to his name. James McCarthy. Next score would be highly, highly valuable. Who's going to get it? Owen Merchant for Dublin. Inside here and taken well by Con O'Callaghan. Strongly built, taking on 2-3 Kerry players, still with possession. And the booth went in and the referee has given the free kick. It's Gavin Crowley, the one who's going to be indicted, I think. And it's going to be a free in for Dublin as they are preparing to bring in Diarmuid Connolly.
Well, it just had to be a free in for Dublin. A really reckless challenge by Gavin Crowley, tackling with the boot, coming across a man who's gone down it. And look at the position. You know, these are not difficult for Dean Rockcher. And the loose or the slow play and the build-up, because everybody realised the next score, as you said yourself, is absolutely critical. And here it is. It's an easy opportunity for Dublin, but had to be.
Well, here is Diarmuid Connolly, who might have been spending the summer across in Boston, but he's in the Dublin colours and he's ready to come in, it would appear, for his 51st ever championship appearance. Remember the difference he made when he came in the All-Ireland final against Mayo 2 years ago. Dean Rock, 8 points today. Come on, ye boys in blue, the fans up on Hill 16, the combined chorus up there, singing as Dean Rock prepares to knock this one over for his 9th point of this All-Ireland football final.
Now the substitution will come on, and then watch the press now off this kick out as well.
Shane Ryan down through the centre here, taken in by the man who conceded that last free kick, Gavin Crowley. They've got a man outside who is Sean O'Shea, unmarked. Worked down as far as Tommy Walsh. Well collected inside by Clifford, laid off very smartly to O'Shea, taking it in his stride and fluently knocking it over the bar. His 10th of the day. And once again the teams are level for the 5th time in this 132nd All-Ireland final.
Yeah, Walsh involved again. Those scores are coming a bit easier now for Kerry, which means people are getting tired and there's gaps in defences.
Dublin's title is very much on the line. Questions are being asked of the champions. Kerry mean business. That's back here as far as Killian Spillane. Took his goal well, and now he's taken his point superbly. In the 66th minute, it's Kerry who steal into the lead. What a time to go in front.
Such confidence from a young man on his left foot, tight angle, everything on the line. And is this ball going to make it? It is.
David Byrne. Well, there were those who were saying that Dublin might rattle in a lot of goals early on and see off the opponents from Munster. But it's been anything but that. They've had a right battle, and they're battling to try and get level here now. It's Kilkenny. Back out to Paddy Small. Didn't want to just rush it and hit that ball willy-nilly. Trying to take it around Stephen O'Brien, and then as he does so, runs into a massive Kerry players. Dean Rock calmly back again to David Byrne. 67 minutes almost played. A little touch there by Merchant to keep it alive for Paul Mannion. And Mannion solos off with the right, but will try to get back on the left. Brian Howard trying to get inside Clifford, succeeds, steadies himself, hits it. Is it in? Is it out? He's put in wide. It's Dublin's 4th wide of the match. Dermot Connolly has just come in for the last couple of minutes, and Brian Howard is the one who's making way. Well, they're looking for something extremely special. Howard had a great match. Now it's Dermot Connolly, and Cormac Costello is also coming in. Number 19, the man who got 3 points in an All-Ireland final in a replay 3 years ago, replaces Paul Mannion. Well, we've often said that Dublin have a fantastic, remarkable and wide talented panel of players, and they're going to have to produce it right now on a day when Jonathan Lyne also comes in. He's a link with the winning team of 5 years ago, replacing Gavin Crowley. Well, this is it. Kerry by 1. 2 minutes to go, plus the all-important number of minutes that the referee is going to add on. You would anticipate 5 or 6.
Yeah, something of that. Maybe not quite that as 6, perhaps. I didn't see that amount of injuries, but there's been quite a few substitutions, obviously, and slow substitutions. But they'll add it all up.
Well, it's going to be crucially important right now. It could even be more than 7. Or even more than 6, and we're believing it might even be 7. So it really is anybody to take the title. Jack Sherwood trying to hold off the attentions of Con O'Callaghan. Take it back there from Jason Foley. Sherwood. Both sides now trying to guard possession zealously. All the way back to the keeper.
Nobody wants to mess up at this stage, Jerry. It's so tight, isn't it?
This is where the pressure really does come on, isn't it? True. Stephen O'Brien. Jonathan Lyne. David Moran. One bad pass, one bad piece of handling, and you give the ball away to the opposition, and now they must try and make hay. And Dublin will try and do so with Kyron Kilkenny. a point behind. Paddy Small, again back to Kilkenny, feeding it back in here to Small once more. Plenty of markers. There is Costello, who comes up. Will he come up trumps? He most certainly will. We know he's done it before, and he's done it again here, and he's made it 116 to 116.
Well,
there's another man coming in, and it's Kevin Mcmahon. We all know what he's done in the past. 2 goals and 2 points in championship matches against Kerry. He replaces Niall Scully. Well, it's going to be a Hawkeye moment, so maybe the celebration was a bit premature.
Well, that's never a good indication, because it's obviously his attention has been called to something by Hawkeye.
Well, that is in, isn't it?
No,
is it? No, it's not.
That's outside. That's outside. That's why his attention was called to it in the first place.
They don't make mistakes when they have Hawkeye, so it's Kerry still holding on to a 1-point lead. We're just waiting for the board, and it is 7 minutes. 7 minutes of added time. So it's there for both these teams to come and grab it, or the scruff of the neck and win it. Paddy Small. Back here it comes to Mcmahon, who's broken Kerry heart so often in the past. Dean Rock with an initial fumble. Connolly getting on this first possession. Back again to Dean Rock. Ferocious pressure being exerted by the Kerry backs. Mcmahon trying to pick it up. Tommy Walsh trying to deny him. Then across came Sean O'Shea. They try to win it back. Well, they're waiting for a whistle in the end. The linesman over there is Barry Cassidy from Derry, signalling that it's going to be a line ball for Dublin. 90 seconds gone in the added time.
What pressure on that last ball. Unbelievable pressure.
Back here into the hands of James McCarthy once again. Now Connolly. What can he offer? Owen Merchant came on as a blood sub and stayed on. Jack McCaffrey, a goal and 3. Will he be the Dublin hero yet? Merchant didn't want to take it on himself. David Byrne, back to Connolly. Diarmuid Connolly kicks it wide. He's missed it, and it stays at 116 to 115. And Dublin are still behind, and 2 of the 7 minutes has already elapsed. Darragh Moynihan, the one who's coming on, number 20.
Jack Barry is cramped. He's struggling. Wasn't that last effort was just made for Diarmuid Connolly. That slicer that he gets so often, just wide.
Well, the referee will be adding, I'm sure, extra time onto all of this. It's at least 7 minutes, they always say. Paul Murphy collecting the kick out. Back to his goalkeeper. Clubmate at Rathmore. Stephen O'Brien now. Out to Jonathan Lyne. Kerry fans, and probably fans all over the country supporting them, wondering, can they hold on? Can they deny Dublin the 5 in a row? That has never ever been done in the history of the association. They get it down to Moynihan. Given off here as far as Killian Spillane. Back to Sean O'Shea. 3 minutes gone. David Moran storming forward. Mcmahon trying to catch up with him. Still David Moran almost losing his way. A blue wave then surrounding him, and it's Kilkenny who gets the ball out, and they work it out smartly as far as Owen Merchant. Merchant for Dublin up to the 45-metre line, a point behind. They need the score. Dean Rock, 9 so far, kicks it, and the big cheer raises because he's got his 10th, and the teams are level. And you're wondering now, does any team deserve to lose the 2019 football final? Level 116 to 116, level 6 times in a remarkable contest. Down to Darragh Moynihan. Kerry will be wondering, is this their big chance to dethrone the champions? They've got 3 more minutes to try and go at it. Stephen O'Brien back to Sean O'Shea. Will there be a Seamus Garvey somewhere? It's Jack McCaffrey who has it. It's a free kick for Dublin. It's Sean O'Shea who's down on the deck. And we've still got another few minutes to play. McCaffrey kicks it off to his right. Kilkenny forward for Mcmahon. If anyone could do it, this is the guy. It's Mcmahon who shrugged aside 2 Kerry men up to the 45. Costello's calling for it. Will deny the one that Hawkeye chalked off a little while ago. Kilkenny once more. Is this going to be the moment? Owen Merchant. One more score for Dublin and you would feel that would pretty much be that. It's still Kilkenny. Held onto by Con O'Callaghan. Gainey goes after him, can't catch him. Once more Kyron Kilkenny. Back out to Paddy Small. He came on as a sub. He could leave as a hero. All the way in. The goalkeeper fists it out into the waiting arms out there of Dara Moynihan. Back out to Stephen O'Brien. And now Kerry can take the ball down the field. And maybe then they will be the ones who will end here with the Sam Maguire Cup in their possession. Back as far as Jonathan Lyne. Oh, he's upended here, but the referee says play on. Was he fouled by Diarmuid Connolly? No foul, no free kick. Dublin have it back once more. It's thrilling, it's sensational football here. Where's the winner to come from? 1 more minute of the 7 to be played. Jack McCaffrey goes forward again, about to be challenged. Well, the challenge by Paul Gainey was ineffective. It reaches Small once more. That's Paddy Small. The seconds counting down.
He's just put up the hand for the signal, which means they want to take all the pace out of it. We're gone past 76. Can they hold it for a minute and a half to have the 5 in a row if they can?
Well, they need to get a shot on target. James McCarthy. Paddy Small once again. Again seeking to take it past Sean O'Shea, and the challenge was high, and it's going to be a free kick. And it's going to be a late chance for Dublin.
Well, this is what we're trying to do, Ger. Hold the ball, make the final opportunity, and essentially this will be it to win it, won't it?
Should be. And it'll be Dean Rock who will take it. Scorer of 10 points in this match already. A fantastic championship by Dean Rock, and there's a yellow card there. So Sean O'Shea now must be wondering, is that foul which has issued this free kick to Dublin, will that be the way? 19D Sam. Well, they've got 1 kick coming up because we're after exceeding the 7 minutes. It's all now down to Dean Rock. Remember the league final 2 years ago? He had a late free as well to try and level up the match, and it came off the crossbar down at the other end. There's his angle. This is from the other side.
Well, he's
a decision to make on the ground or from the hands.
He's also kicked a winner against Mayo. Remember that fella?
He certainly did.
It's off the ground. There's a lot of pressure being put on this kick. But O'Shea has put on an incredible display of kicking. But Dean Rock, I think if you're thinking about the national kickers, this is the guy you'd want.
Well, this is the moment. 78 minutes into the match with the teams level at 116 to 116. Is he to repeat what he did 2 years ago in the final and win it for Dublin with this kick? This to win the All-Ireland. It's gone left and it's gone wide, and they are level still at 116 apiece. And Jim Gavin must now be thinking in terms of another day out against the Munster champions as Shane Ryan kicks it against Kevin Mcmahon. And the referee does blow his final whistle, and it has ended here with both teams very much still in the hunt for the Sam Maguire Cup. Peter Keane and his opposite number, Jim Gavin, shake hands. Overall, fair result?
Yeah, I think so, Jerry. Yeah, there was a stage when it looked like Dublin had it. Kerry did really well to come back into it, but bear in mind the misses of the first half. I think all told, added up, yeah, I think a draw is a good result. It gives us a chance to see these 2 teams go at it again.
When you consider that is just the second time or the third time now that Dublin have been held to a draw. They lost 1 game during the reign of Jim Gavin. It's some achievement overall. but they're still there, and the 5 in a row is still possible. Kerry will now be wondering, have they left it behind them? Final score here, Dublin 1-16, Kerry